Dragon Ball Z Movie 7 Super 13 is by far the most mediocre Dragon Ball movie. It has all the Dragon Ball Z cliches you can imagine. Piccolo comes to save Gohan. Vegeta comes to save Goku saying, "Only I can kill Kakarot." A Spirit Bomb being used as a trump card, trying to replicate things from the ongoing story with Android 13 being like Cell who absorbs androids to transform, and Krillin getting punished or humiliated. The entire point of the movie, the entire selling point of the movie is there are three Super Saiyans fighting simultaneously for the first time against three androids Android Zero created. Android 13, 14 and 15, that's it. Apparently Gero's supercomputer is pretty much does all the decisions despite Gero being dead. But this guy is so incompetent that his machine has to do shit for him. At the start of the movie, Gero gets killed by 17 and 18, which are now free somewhere. And this movie features some interesting things like 14 and 15 aren't very memorable, but we learn quite a bit about their personality as they look for Goku. It's a shopping district. And Goku and Trunks were pretty much handicapped, forced to lure the enemy to a different location. And that's not the first time we see an AC area, but it's the first time they really fight in it fully in this surrounding. But the movie didn't take too much advantage of it. Not that it really matters. Rarely Dragon Ball movies take much advantage of the terrain they are fighting in since they fly on fire energy beams. But it gives some characters a cool way to enter the battle. As the visuals and action is good, I enjoyed Vegeta vs 14 and Trunks vs 15. While they end in a similar way, it was still enjoyable. Music and animation is really fluid. Android 13 as a character started okay, but after his transformation he just grunted and said, "Son Goku!" like he is Broly from Second Coming or something. Besides the points mentioned earlier, the main antagonist's transformation just isn't believable. He starts as a slim guy with long hair, but absorbing two cores and chips from his fallen comrades allow him to transform into a Blue Hulk with Vegeta's hairstyle, orange hair and yellow eyes. He also has no eyebrows for some reason. There's no foundation in that design that justifies why he looks the way he does, and nor the dramatic change at all. And his power seemed pretty much random. Like all the androids introduced so far minus Cell. The reason Cell worked is because he was a patchwork of the strongest fighters at the time, and he has knowledge of the techniques, capable of draining energy and being able to absorb others to transform and stabilize himself, the other androids I mean. Also his transformation felt more organic, while Android 13 doesn't feel like he deserves to be as strong as to fight our Super Saiyan. And the fight against 13 was also really boring. Every character tried to fight him the same way, punch a few times and then get blasted away. Sure, it wasn't all boring, you have some iconic scenes, like the finale or the punch in the balls, but they are so minimal that they don't make up for the rest. And by the way, what happened to Android 17 and 18? They appeared at the start of the movie and then they were completely gone. I assume they joined a skater game or something and enjoyed life. One thing that bothered me since I watched this movie is Android 13's technique. A red energy balls that can apparently destroy half the planet. Is that supposed to be impressive or terrifying? After all, characters beat up several characters that can one-shot a planet casually. It sounds just stupid. I feel this movie could have been better if it were integrated as a filler arc. Instead of a movie, we could have had a filler in between the 3 year time to prepare for the androids to arrive. Remember when Bulma said, let's ask the Dragon Balls about the location of Jiro. They could still have done that in a filler arc and let Tien, Yamcha and Krillin fight some weaker androids, and that could also be a good build up to show even the weakest like Android 11 could be mighty enough to pose a threat to the sea fighters. What about these 27 models later and such? Yeah, could have been interesting, but I'm not writing the story, so what's done, it's done. Overall, it was a decent movie with a bombastic finale, good action, good soundtrack, good animation, but the characters were pretty much forgettable, like most of the fights against Android 13, and the cliches as well. And the secondary cast like Gohan, Krillin, and Piccolo were pretty much useless.